How you doing? It's been a little while since I've done a video. I've been going through a bit of self-reflection, which we should do, which everybody does, but this particular time has been very useful for me. And I just want to ask you a question, and it's not a difficult one to answer. And it's kind of funny because we kind of work in a society where we don't ask enough questions about where we're heading or where we're at. It's kind of weird how, it's like this, right? Think if you were in a relationship, yeah, and that person demanded loyalty, punctuality, and honesty, and on top of all of that, required you to stick within a certain way to act, yeah, and yet that person doesn't offer you any loyalty, and certain things they do isn't reflective of what is expected of you, and that you're also, when you try to stand up and say that you feel that you are being misrepresented or you're being put in a difficult situation, that you're made to feel like you're the problem. And that also, if you're expected to do more for them, say you're expected to give more time, but if you happen to be late for them at any time, you're given a warning. But if you have to work overtime, you're not given any prior notice, and sometimes you have to. You can get that time back, but if you then say, can I keep that time, and then you're late one morning, say, well, I worked late for you, shouldn't I be given leeway and respect because I worked late for you? So this is, you get where I'm going with the company now. So this is how it works with companies. So it's like, we want loyalty and respect, but they don't offer you a job for life. They don't give you a loyalty. They will drop you like a hot stone. And they tell you usually it's your fault. If you work unscripted overtime, because you want to take care of a customer base or excel in work, yet if you're late by a few minutes, you're written up and put onto report, and you lose money for it, yet you don't gain extra money or loyalty for working overtime. So can you see how unbalanced the system is here? If companies want loyalty and want individuals to work and love where they work, then they need to give the employee back what the employee gives to them. Because it's like a bad relationship. It's like a toxic relationship otherwise, isn't it? It's like, imagine you put in, and you have to be flexible, loyal, and all of these things, but you don't get the flexibility and the loyalty back off the company. How have we ended up in a society where we have the majority of the HR and the companies that are involved within the companies are more to protect the company than they are to protect the employees? So human resources originally was created to protect the individual. I'm not talking about my situation or any situation anyway, but I've been just reading up on it recently online, and I've took a big interest in it because I'm in a difficult situation at the moment, which I can't talk about, but I just thought I'd give my current reflection, because if I hadn't had any experiences in these areas, I wouldn't be sat here talking about it. But if you've had experience in the same area, isn't it strange that the majority of us feel that we need to be loyal and always be on time, always be punctual, always do everything to the book, and then certain managers don't. Great managers would abide by the book, but the biggest problem to me, my experience always is the manager was always the buffer between you and the company. And what the manager was there to do was to fight for his employees and to protect his employees from the rules of the company. So he was able to give a bit of leeway to employees that actually did the same for the boss and the company. And the company needs to look at these individuals, because if they If they want just people that just go, yeah, I'll do whatever I want, then they'll end up with no creativity, no true loyalty, and no diversity within their company, because all they'll have is drones. And if they want to have a company which caters, especially in the sales and the supermarkets and shop trades, these type of things, hairdressing, all the different elements, if you're not allowing different nuances of personality, when people walk in, they will have different personalities, and there'll be certain people in your branch which will be able to deal with those people better than other people. If you don't have them in place, you'll just have people that are just do their job, never bend over backwards, never bend the rules, not break them, but bend them. Like, because there's certain times you need to bend the rules to make the customer feel like they're being listened to or they're being catered to. That happens, but then the same must happen for your employees as well. Your employees need to feel valued. They need to have a place where they can grow and they feel protected, and they feel that their job is really important. So there's my little dog barking in the background. I'm going to be wrapping this up in a minute. So what we've got to understand is, are we willing to allow this to happen all of the time? Because sadly, I stand up and I stand up and I say, no, this isn't right. That person's being treated differently to this person. That person's being picked on more than that one. And I always stand up for what I believe is right. And in the process of that, sadly, I make myself a target as well as that, because I have ADHD and I struggle in certain areas. Sometimes I struggle with punctuality. Sometimes I struggle with getting to work on time. I sometimes have good days where I can be somebody that can be super at doing my job, and other days I can have bad days. And because of those inconsistencies, people with ADHD need to have a different score system sometimes to people without ADHD. So say if someone without ADHD has a target of 25% of the shop sales, somebody with ADHD working the same hours might be lucky to get 20% of the shop sales. In other instances, they might get 30%. They might excel in that job and do really well. It's different for every person with the condition, and different people with the condition, different levels of that cognitive function or lack of, struggle in different ways. So our jobs, our way we think, the way we are, we're all individual, but there's been a system written, and we need to fit within those borders. And without fitting into those borders, we're pushing and shoving against the company, and it creates friction. And sometimes certain managers, individuals are open to that, and they encourage you to push forward. And other ones will just shut you down and find a way to get rid of you because they can't cope with the fact that you're a bit different. And it's like, I understand, because I had the same when I had school teachers. When I went in school, I had some teachers that totally and actually infused me, and other ones that kind of shut me down and made me not want to be in their lessons. So managers are very similar to school teachers, and they can either have a lot of life experience outside their job and they bring that into their workplace, or they are just a job. And some teachers are just a teacher. They go through the education system, educated to be teacher, become a teacher, but never have any life experience until later on, where other teachers have life experience, decide to go into teaching and become amazing teachers because they have a much broader spectrum of people and know how to manage people, because that's what we're talking about, is people management skills here. And people think in management you're there just to enforce the rules of the company. All right, Jack, I won't be a minute. But what you're meant to do is to understand the rules of the company and find out how to get the people that work for you to adjust to those rules individually, so that you can encourage them to do it their way, but within the company's brackets. Not everybody fits, not every peg fits in the same hole. Keep hammering it in. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that. Because to me, that's how I feel that a lot of people that work for companies feel the frustration and how they struggle. Anyway, namaste, sending love, and I got to spend some time with my dog, Jack. What do you want, you little bugger? I'll just show you him now. He's just down by there. Where is he? There he is, little Aura. See him barking at me? The other one's just sleeping soundly on the seat. Anyway, sending love from a car park in Caerphilly in my van. Bye-bye for now.